The demonic possession of Emily Rose. In the quiet countryside, nestled away from the bustling city, lived Emily Rose, a young woman known for her devout faith and gentle nature. Emily had always been a pillar of her community, attending church regularly and spreading kindness wherever she went. But her life took a dark and horrifying turn that would leave her and those around her forever changed. It all began one autumn evening when Emily experienced her first terrifying episode. She was home alone when she suddenly felt an overwhelming presence, a crushing weight pressing down on her chest. Unable to breathe, she collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. Her parents found her moments later, her body contorted in unnatural ways, her eyes wide with fear. The local doctor was baffled, attributing it to a severe panic attack. But Emily knew it was something far more sinister. As the days turned into weeks, Emily's condition worsened. She began to hear voices, malicious whispers that taunted her relentlessly. Objects would move on their own, and the once serene atmosphere of their home grew cold and oppressive. Emily's family, desperate and frightened, turned to their parish priest, Father Moore, for help. Father Moore, a man of strong faith, sensed the malevolent force at work and decided to perform a series of exorcisms to rid Emily of the demonic presence. The exorcisms were grueling and terrifying. Emily would scream and thrash, her voice not her own, as Father Moore recited ancient prayers and invoked the power of God. Her body would convulse, and dark, mocking laughter would fill the room. The witnesses to these sessions, including Emily's parents and a few close friends, reported seeing her levitate, her eyes rolling back into her head. It was as if Emily was caught in a battle between light and darkness, her soul hanging in the balance. Despite their best efforts, Emily's torment continued. She began to exhibit strange behaviors, speaking in languages she had never learned, displaying knowledge of events and secrets she could not have known. Her once kind demeanor turned violent, and she would lash out at those trying to help her. The demonic force within her seemed to gain strength, feeding off her fear and suffering. Father Moore, exhausted but resolute, sought the assistance of a renowned exorcist, Father Peters. Together they intensified their efforts, spending days and nights in prayer and exorcism rites. They were met with fierce resistance from the entity possessing Emily. The exorcisms became a brutal test of faith and endurance. Emily's physical health deteriorated rapidly. She grew pale and gaunt, her eyes hollow and haunted. But within her, a flicker of her true self remained, fighting against the darkness that sought to consume her. During one particularly intense session, Emily spoke directly to Father Moore, her voice a mixture of her own and the demonic entities. She revealed that she had been chosen to suffer for the sins of others, a martyr in a spiritual battle beyond human comprehension. Her words were both heartbreaking and terrifying, leaving those present with a sense of profound dread. In a final, desperate attempt to save Emily, Father Moore and Father Peters conducted an exorcism that lasted for hours. The room grew unbearably cold, and a palpable sense of evil filled the air. Emily's body contorted violently, her screams echoing through the house. But as dawn approached, a change occurred. Emily's body relaxed, and she lay still, a peaceful expression on her face. Emily Rose did not survive the ordeal. Her death was a devastating blow to her family and the community. Father Moore, deeply affected by the experience, struggled to reconcile the events with his faith. He believed that Emily had indeed been possessed by a demonic force, and that her suffering had a purpose known only to God. The case of Emily Rose became a subject of intense debate and scrutiny. Skeptics argued that she had suffered from a severe mental illness, while others believed in the supernatural explanation. Her story, however, left an indelible mark on all who heard it. Emily Rose, a young woman of unwavering faith, had faced a battle against an unimaginable evil, and in her struggle, she had touched the lives of many, reminding them of the thin veil that separates our world from the unknown. The vanishing village of Horror Verde. In the heart of Brazil, nestled between dense forests and winding rivers, there once lay a village known as Horror Verde. This village was a small, thriving community, home to over 600 people. It seemed like any other until one fateful day in 1923, when the entire village vanished without a trace. On that day, a group of travelers, making their way through the region, stumbled upon the village. What they found was nothing short of a nightmare. The homes were intact, the streets eerily quiet, but there was no sign of life. It was as if the villagers had vanished into thin air. The travelers ventured through the empty streets, their unease growing with every step. Doors creaked open, revealing abandoned rooms. Meals sat untouched on tables, as if the villagers had left in a hurry. Livestock wandered aimlessly, unfed and unattended. It was a scene frozen in time, a snapshot of sudden, inexplicable abandonment. The most disturbing discovery was made in the village school. The blackboard bore a chilling message in Portuguese: "There is no salvation." The cryptic warning only deepened the mystery, sending shivers down the spines of those who read it. The travelers were baffled and terrified, unable to comprehend what had transpired in this seemingly peaceful village. Speculation ran rampant. Some believed the villagers had been abducted by supernatural forces. Others whispered of ancient curses and dark rituals. There were those who pointed to government experiments or extraterrestrial encounters. But despite countless theories, no concrete evidence has ever surfaced to explain the disappearance. Over the years, investigators, journalists, and curious adventurers have tried to uncover the truth behind Horror Verde. Yet the village remains an enigma, its empty homes standing as silent witnesses to whatever fate befell its inhabitants. The Brazilian government, too, has kept its distance, adding to the layers of conspiracy and intrigue surrounding the case. As night falls over the empty streets of Horror Verde, one cannot help but feel the weight of the unknown. The village stands as a ghostly reminder of the fragility of human existence and the unsolved mysteries that linger in the shadows of our world. To this day, the fate of Horror Verde's residents remains one of the most chilling and perplexing mysteries, a story of a community that vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and a haunting silence. The village of Horror Verde, now overgrown and forgotten, still draws the occasional thrill seeker or paranormal investigator. Those brave enough to spend the night often report strange occurrences, whispers in the wind, shadowy figures darting between the trees, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. The air is thick with an unshakable sense of dread, as if the very ground remembers the horrors that took place. Local legends have only fueled the fear surrounding Horror Verde. Some say that on the anniversary of the village's disappearance, the spirits of the lost villagers roam the streets, searching for the peace they were denied in life. Others claim that the village is cursed, doomed to forever remain in a state of limbo, its secrets buried beneath layers of time and neglect. One theory suggests that a dark ritual went awry, summoning forces beyond human control. According to this tale, a group of villagers, desperate to improve their fortunes, turned to forbidden practices. They sought out an ancient text rumored to contain incantations of great power, but the ritual they performed unleashed something malevolent. The entity, enraged by being disturbed, exacted its vengeance by erasing the village from existence, taking every soul with it. Another, more chilling hypothesis involves a clandestine government experiment. In the early 20th century, Brazil, like many nations, was not immune to the allure of secret scientific endeavors. It is whispered that Horror Verde was chosen as the site for a psychological experiment designed to study fear and mass hysteria. A powerful hallucinogen was supposedly released into the water supply, leading to the villagers' collective descent into madness. The experiment, however, spiraled out of control, resulting in the villagers' complete and utter disappearance. Despite the myriad of theories, one fact remains undeniable: Horror Verde is a place of profound mystery and terror. The village's story serves as a stark reminder of how little we truly understand about the world and the forces that may lurk just beyond our comprehension. It stands as a testament to the unknown, a beacon for those who seek to uncover the darkest secrets of our reality. As we close this chapter on the enigmatic disappearance of Horror Verde, we are left with more questions than answers. What really happened to the villagers? Was it a supernatural event, a dark ritual gone wrong, or a sinister government plot? We may never know. But one thing is certain: the story of Horror Verde will continue to haunt and intrigue those who dare to delve into its shadowy past.
The haunting of the RMS Queen Mary. The RMS Queen Mary, a majestic ocean liner that sailed the North Atlantic from 1936 to 1967, is not just a testament to maritime history, it is also reputed to be one of the most haunted places in the world. This iconic ship, now permanently docked in Long Beach, California, has a dark history filled with eerie occurrences and spine-chilling tales that continue to captivate and terrify those who dare to explore its decks. The Queen Mary's ghostly reputation began during its service in World War II. Converted into a troop ship, the Grey Ghost, as it was called, transported thousands of soldiers across treacherous waters. During one fateful voyage, it collided with and split in half its escort ship, the HMS Curaçao, resulting in the tragic deaths of over 300 men. This incident is often cited as the source of many of the ship's hauntings. Visitors to the Queen Mary often report encounters with the supernatural. One of the most famous haunted locations is the ship's engine room. Deep within the bowels of the vessel, this area is said to be haunted by a young sailor who was tragically crushed by a watertight door during a routine drill. His ghost is often seen wandering the passageways, his presence accompanied by the sound of clanging metal and distant footsteps. Another hotspot for paranormal activity is the first-class swimming pool, which, despite being drained long ago, remains eerily active. Guests and staff have reported seeing wet footprints appearing mysteriously, ghostly apparitions of women in vintage swimsuits, and the sound of laughter echoing through the empty space. The pool area, with its Art Deco tiles and long-forgotten elegance, serves as a chilling reminder of the ship's opulent past and its lingering spirits. Cabin B340 is perhaps the most infamous location on the Queen Mary. This room has such a notorious reputation for paranormal activity that it was closed to guests for many years. Reports of violent poltergeist activity, including objects moving on their own, bed sheets being pulled off, and the chilling sensation of being watched, have all been linked to this cabin. Brave souls who have stayed in B340 often recount their experiences with a mix of fascination and terror. The ship's deck and hallways are no less haunted. Spectral figures, dressed in period clothing, are often seen roaming these areas. One common sighting is that of a woman in a long white gown, often seen gliding down the hallways or standing at the edge of the deck, gazing out at the sea. Her identity remains a mystery, but her presence is felt by many who cross her path. The Queen Mary's dining room and lounges also hold their share of ghostly tales. Visitors have reported hearing the faint strains of big band music, glasses clinking, and murmurs of conversation, as if the spirits of past guests are still enjoying an evening aboard the grand ship. Some have even seen fully formed apparitions sitting at tables, only to vanish when approached. One particularly chilling tale involves the spirit of a young girl named Jackie. She is often seen and heard near the pool area and is known to interact with guests, especially children. Her laughter, cries, and even playful splashing sounds are frequently reported. Some believe Jackie may have drowned in the pool, though no records of such an incident exist. Her playful but poignant presence adds a heartbreaking layer to the ship's haunted history. Despite the numerous ghostly encounters, the Queen Mary continues to draw visitors from around the world, all eager to experience its history and perhaps catch a glimpse of its spectral residents. The ship's eerie allure lies in its ability to transport visitors back in time, to an era of grandeur and tragedy, where the past and the present seem to coexist in a delicate, haunted harmony. As you walk the decks of the RMS Queen Mary, remember that you are not alone. The ship's haunted history is very much alive, woven into the fabric of its walls and the echoes of its hallways. Each creak and whisper, every fleeting shadow, serves as a reminder of the souls who once sailed its waters and perhaps still linger, unwilling or unable to leave. Will you be one of the lucky few to encounter these restless spirits? Or will you leave the Queen Mary with nothing more than a chilling story to tell? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the ghosts of the Queen Mary are always watching, waiting for the next unsuspecting visitor to join their ghostly ranks.